WOYK. Welcome to Sports Radio 1350's High School Basketball Game of the Week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine, the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of the York Revolution.
Markey to Saxton, cutting through the lane, hits the layup, beautifully run plane.
High school basketball plays here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports, bringing you the best of the York Adams League all season.
Shiflett a deep three, it is good! Trey Shiflett with the tray at the buzzer.
Now, let's head out to the action with a call of tonight's game. Here's Ron Ruman.
And good evening and welcome. Hope you dug out of the snow from last weekend, and we're glad to have you with us here tonight as we are downtown in the Bearcats Den at York High as Troy Sowers guys host the Panthers of Central in a key Division I matchup. This is the Vito's Pizza pregame show on the High School Basketball Game of the Week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine and my partner Andy Bria alongside. And Andy, a lot riding on this game tonight, not necessarily in the league standings, that's pretty well settled, but it has a lot to do with the districts. And you talked to Troy, this is a big game for him in terms of seeing how his kids are playing right now.
Really, you know, they had 4 wins in a row of better than 20 points. They played some really big-time opponents this year, strong basketball powers, Chester and a few others. Lost to them by 3. They were in every one of those games, but they lost some close games. They had the poorest first half I've seen them play in a long time against Spring Grove the other night last week when we had him. Yeah, he's interested to see how they're going to react. And this is a different bunch, you know what I mean? He lost 4 kids from last year that all they wanted to do was win. They didn't matter what they did to do that. And you got some kids here, you know, I keep saying it every now and then, it's more one-on-one than team. The problem is tonight they're going to play on the other side of the floor. They're going to play a team.
Yes.
I mean, it is just team basketball. They are like one, and it's really a contrast in styles. It's going to be interesting.
It is, you know, because we've talked to Kevin Sheeler, who's seen Central a few times this year, and they're coming in at 15-2 and 10-0, the top seed in District 3 right now. Yeah, this is a team that, you know, came in without Charlie Gingrich this year, didn't come out this season. Their starting center the last 2 years. They lost Saxton, who was their leading scorer the last 2 years, so you weren't sure what you were going to have, and Kevin has said they played better as a team than anybody he's ever had.
And you'll hear it in the interview, and I asked him about it, and he says, you know, we don't scare anybody getting off the bus.
Well,
and it's the truth.
Right,
when you
it is.
Look at him.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Jared Wagner, and you'll hear it in the interview with Kevin, but he, to me, is the epitome of high school athlete. I mean, that kid, there's no quit in him. You think he's out of a play, and the next thing you know, he's got the steal, and he's going down the other way. So, I mean, this is a tough gym to play in, and we've been here many times and seen some great games, and I expect a real competitive one tonight.
I do too, and we're glad you're with us. This is a JV game, 6-point contest with under a minute to go. Central is up, so we're trying to make sure that we don't have an overtime situation here.
Oh, you should have never said that.
I know, but so we'll feed it inside, and there's a bucket by the Bearcats, and they take a timeout, so I don't want to really go to Arthur. They're going at it. Right now, Gettysburg is 7-5 in the league. West York is 6-4. So, and West York has a game against Northeastern next Tuesday. Gettysburg plays them tonight.
Wow.
So, if Gettysburg loses tonight, they'll have 6 losses. So West York can wrap up that spot with a win over Suburban tonight and a Gettysburg loss. So we'll see what happens there. But Central will be very likely the top seed out of Division I. They're 10-0 right now. And so they would play that one. York Catholic and Eastern would match up. And it could be an interesting game in the other side of that.
I think so, because we got to see Eastern one time. They looked very good, well-schooled. You know, they play well. We saw Catholic 3 times. At least I've seen them 3 times. And if they don't have the quickest guard in DeAndre Davis in the league, then he's got to be in the top 2.
Right.
Because I've never seen anybody move that quickly with the ball in his hand. You know, dribbling it. So that would be an excellent matchup.
It
excellent
would be,
matchup.
yeah.
So would the one.
Would be Northeastern York High. We had that game a couple days before Christmas here. The only loss of the season for Northeastern so far.
Wow. Yeah. It's like you said. How do you spell zone?
Yeah, interesting.
Absolutely.
Interesting tournament. On the girls' side right now, the way it would set up is Red Line would have West York, and West York, you know, they lost a lot from last year, and the Red Line 18-1, so they're looking awfully good at the moment. We'll see them Tuesday.
It's going to take a real, unless the wheels come apart.
Yeah.
He's got him poised for a big run right now.
Yeah, I think so. And then the other half of that bracket would be Delone and Suburban. I mean, Suburban is also looking good right now. Delone is tough, but I don't think they're quite the Delone that
they're not the Delone. Yeah, they're not the Delone at the beginning of the year when they had Novak. Novak out with the knee injury. That was his big girl. He was a different team with her. That would be an excellent basketball game, that Suburban Delone game. I'm telling you, that's pick'em.
Yeah,
that's a pick'em game right there.
And then we've got Central and York Catholic in the other side of the bracket. Have to give it. They beat Central. Susquehannocks only lost twice this year, both times to Central.
They've got a couple of players. William Penn that can really get up. They can play. But Susquehannock through 5 kids is as good as I've seen.
Yeah, so it should be an interesting tournament on both sides, and we'll see what shakes out here. A lot of games to be made up over the next few days, but that's the way it would shape up. If they got it going today. All right, Central's up 6 with 14 seconds to go. We're going to assume they'll hang on, and we're going to take a break, come back and talk to the coaches after this on the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
Serving York for over 50 years, Vito's Pizza. Check out their daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 till 2. 2 slices of pizza and a small soda, only $3.99, or a small sub for only $4.25. Monday night, 2 large cheese pizzas for only $15.99. Tuesday, a large stromboli and large pitcher of soda, just $11.99. Wednesday, a large cheese pizza and large pitcher of soda, just $11.49. Vito's open till midnight, Monday through Thursday till 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Dine in at 1734 South Queen Street, York, or get carry-out. Call 843-1143.
Get ready for winter now and save big on your heating oil or propane costs. Call today to schedule your first fill, and don't forget to ask our energy advisors about the right money-saving plan or budget to fit your lifestyle. Lock in your rate and protect your price all winter. Our price-protected customers save an average of $325 per year. Visit ShipleyEnergy.com or call 855-4SHIPLEY, and don't forget to ask about our $100 rebate. Shipley Energy, energy for life.
Don't settle without Gettle and Veltri, attorneys at law, for all your legal needs. From wrongful death, personal injury, auto accidents, divorce and custody, estate planning, workers' compensation, wills and estates, don't settle without Gettle and Veltri. For all your legal needs, call 854-4899. 854-4899. Gettle and Veltri, attorneys at law, 13 East Market Street, York.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Welcome back to our pregame show. We're in the Bearcats stand at York High, and tonight we got the Central York Panthers and the York High Bearcats. With me now is the coach of Central, Kevin Schiller. Coach, congratulations on a successful season so far.
Thank you very much. But like you said, so far, there's hopefully a lot of season left.
All right, we got a lot to play for tonight. District implications. It won't change, like you said, the seedings, but I know you want the outright title. Talk about this bunch of kids a little bit.
It makes it fun to go into the gym every day because they're a competitive group of boys who just love basketball and want to win. Makes my job very easy because they're highly motivated. And so far this year we've been battle tested. We've been in a lot of tight games, and hopefully that pays off for us in the long run.
You know, I've watched some of the most athletic kids I've seen. Northeastern, even York High, even somewhat Spring Grove and a couple of their kids. Your kids don't strike me as being that athletic looking, and I hope they listen to this and know that that's not a knock from Coach Bria, but they just don't look. But as a team, I don't think there's a team playing better team basketball than Central.
I think this is one of the best team chemistry groups I've ever had. Coach Wagner and I have made multiple jokes that we don't strike fear in teams when we walk off the bus. In fact, if we didn't have travel suits, teams probably wouldn't recognize us as a Quad A basketball team.
Wagner kid, to me, and we talked about it, Kevin, a little bit, sometimes he looks like he's out of the play, and the next thing I know, he's going the other way with the steal, and I'm like dumbfounded that he's even a part of that play. Talk a little bit about how special he is.
He's got such athletic explosion. I mean, he anticipates very well. His first step is so quick. I don't know how he does does it sometimes. We go back and watch the film, and he's so far away when he sees the pass coming, and somehow still goes and gets the steal. And I think it's a result of his just competitive nature. He's really driven. It doesn't matter what happens. He wants to win, and he makes.
All right, talk to me about him.
We got to try and make them play as much half-court basketball as possible. They're still a very, very good half-court team. They use the dribble drive extremely well. They're very, very quick. But if we can limit offensive putbacks for them, limit the transition game, that'll help us out a lot. That means we got to limit turnovers. If we can do those things, that'll help us be successful. It's not going to do everything for us, but those are the things we're going to key in on tonight.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with more of our pregame show.
GameTimePA.com is your home for local high school sports. Log on for all the scores, stats, photos, and more, plus live stream coverage of the area's can't-miss matchups all season long. Stay in the game no matter where you are with the free GameTime PA app. Download it directly to your iPhone or Android and get all the Game Time features you love when you're on the go. Available at the iPhone App Store, Android Market, and, of course, GameTimePA.com.
Stony Brook Family Restaurant, located at 3560 East Market Street in York, is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Completely remodeled, Stony Brook is the home of good food and hospitality at reasonable prices. Proudly serving the York area for over 30 years, Stony Brook is family-owned and now also serves beer and wine. For home cooking, homemade soup, steaks, seafood, our famous roasted chicken, or just about anything, visit Stony Brook Family Restaurant, 3560 East Market Street in York.
First in York, first in sports. Sports Radio 1350, WOIK.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. Welcome back to our pregame show. With me now is the very esteemed coach of the York High Bearcats, Troy Sowers. Coach, game has some importance. County's already settled, but game has some importance for you for districts coming forward. But more importantly, talk a little bit about your team. You know, I watched we did the Spring Grove game, poor first half, good second half. We just talked about that. Talk a little bit about where you got to have these kids headed going into February.
Yeah, it's getting late here in the season. You know, we had 4 good games before the Spring Grove game, maybe, but we just have to play good basketball going into it. You know, our kids buy into the idea that once we get in, we can beat anybody, and we've done that the last 7 years. So I think it's a matter of just playing good basketball these next 3 games and preparing to start the playoffs.
You're going to play a team tonight. You beat in OT, I guess, or lost, in OT last time. Team that plays a switcher man-to-man like you. They don't, you know, and I said this to Kevin, and he knows this is not a slight. They don't look like much physically, athletically, especially compared to your bunch. But as a team, they're really tough.
Yeah, fun. Team chemistry and effort and all that goes into getting great shots. And Central has a great bunch of kids that Jared Wagner's their floor leader. Coach Sheila is a great coach. So they've been in some crunch time situations this year, last year. So they know how to win games, and we have to get to that point. We've lost a number of close games this year where we just didn't make big plays and big opportunities, and you know, maybe we've lost our share of those, and now we'll get a little lady luck our way. But I think, you know, hard work brings that luck. So if we're going to expect anything to bounce our way towards the end, we have to make sure we're working hard enough for it.
Give me some keys, Coach. You got to do well. The kids got to do well to get you to the next one.
Yeah, we have to rebound. I think everything is predicated on how we rebound. This team gets out in transition well. I like the decisions we make, but if you don't rebound and win those 50-50 balls, you can't get out and go. I think our press defense we play tonight is going to have to look really intense. Sometimes it's, you know, 80%, and when you play a great team like Central, you need 100% effort. So we have to make sure we play crazy defense all game and win the battle on the glass.
Good luck to you and your kids, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of our pregame show right after this on Sports Radio 1350, WOIK.
When you need a haircut, where do you go? If you need a hair replacement, who's the expert? When barbers need a haircut, where do they go? The answer is Iaconos, of course, the most interesting barbers in York. Don't normally get a shave? Go to Iacono's, they'll take care of you. Need a facial? That's right, Iacono's is the place to get it done. Iacono's, the most interesting barbers in York. They do it all. For an appointment, call 854-8258. That's 854-8258.
You know, it's a new year. Why not get a new go-to? Come on, you're in a rut. You're on autopilot. I mean, why choose the same go-to maple donut every time when Charlie Donut gives you so many to choose from?
We have the tasty 58.
Variety.
Maple Donuts.
It'll be a snap. The next time you walk up to a Maple Donuts counter, resist the urge to order what you always order and try one of Charlie's other delectable creations. Always choose the glazed maple donut, go for the French cruller. Always opt for the powdered sugar jelly-filled, go for the glazed devil's food. I mean, be honest. Does your family not even ask you what you want anymore because they know it's always the same thing? Well, how about you rock their world? Tell them you'll take whatever maple donut they bring home. Whoa, it's a revolution. Hey, who knows? By this time next year, your go-to maple donut may have a whole new flavor.
Maple Donuts taste right. 58 tasty great. Anytime, day or night. For appetite delight. Maple Donuts taste right.
The home for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Welcome back to York High. Ron Ruman and Andy Bria here on the Vito's Pizza pregame show. And time now for Iacono's look around the league. Getting down to nitty-gritty time here. Red Lion at Spring Grove. Andy, the Rockets 14-2, 8-2, and they're sitting at number 6 in the District 3 Quad A standings right now.
Well, I like them tonight big over Red Lion.
All right, New Oxford at Dallastown. Dallastown won last night a non-league game over Susky, so they're 9-9. They're still alive to get into those district playoffs.
You know, they're a tough bunch. I told you, they're a well-coached bunch, does what their coach tells them to do. Might not be the most talented team, but they're going to be tough. I like Dallastown tonight at home.
Susquehannocks at Dover. The Eagles, likewise, not going to make the league playoffs, still alive to get into the districts. They're the 20th seed right now, so that as of tonight, they would have one of those play-in games.
That's my upset. I'm like Susquehannock up here.
All right, Susky can be tough.
Yes, they can.
Big one, Gettysburg at Northeastern. Gettysburg fighting with West York for that final playoff spot. Gettysburg right now they're 7-5. West York is 6-4. So that's a big one. If Gettysburg wins tonight, they'll have a good shot at it. A loss tonight and a West York win over Suburban gets the Bulldogs in.
You're asking a whole lot of Gettysburg to go into the Northeastern place and win. I like Northeastern.
All right, and West York on the road at Suburban. The Bulldogs 9-6, 6-4. Suburban struggling. They're 6-13 and 4-8.
I got to believe that Bill can get it done and his kids can get it done in Suburban.
Yeah. And a Division III on the line tonight. Hanover at York Catholic. The Irish can wrap it up with a win tonight.
Give me Blaine's kids. I'll take them.
All right, there you go. That's our look around the league from Iacono's as we get ready for Central and York High. Central won the first game back on January 5th, 77-69 in their gym. Troy Sowers guys would like to return the favor tonight on their home floor. Take a break. We'll come back in our starting lineups courtesy of your neighborhood family markets. You're listening to the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
Since 1964, York Area Sports Night has been an honored tradition giving local sports fans, young and old, the chance to meet their sports heroes. To shake a hand, get an autograph, snap a photo, join us on Thursday, February 11th for the 52nd Annual York Area Sports Night held at Heritage Hills Golf Resort and Conference Center. Sponsored by M&T Bank, S&H Express, Shipley Energy, Apple Automotive Group, Gladfelder Insurance, EK McConkey Insurance, RBC Wealth Management, and Sports Radio 1350. Join our great local partners and a host of others with 2016 sponsorships still available. Visit YorkSportsNight.com. Guests at this year's event include Jay Paterno, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Hall of Famer Tony Perez, Hall of Fame lineman Bob Lilly, York Revolution pitcher Stephen Penny, and Penn State Nittany Lions, including Dallastown's Ben Klein. Get your tickets today. Visit the Orioles store at the York Galleria for tickets to the autograph.
On tomorrow with a big doubleheader for the York College men and women, 12:45, I believe, tomorrow afternoon, so tune in for that. And as always, start your sports weekend with the Dr. Wayne McCullough. Downtown is here. I'm telling you, Andy, we're going to have you interview him sometime. He is a tough interview.
I'll bet you he is.
Yeah. And tomorrow morning at 9, Wayne McCullough will have you get your started for your sports weekend. Reports from our interns and some of the key games tonight. And You know, I always want to listen because Wayne gets upset if people don't listen. He cries.
Yeah, I know.
He cries sometimes, so we don't want that. So, anyway, and after we're done tonight, Hershey Bears hockey as soon as we're finished here. So stick around for that. All right, time for our starting lineups now for your neighborhood family markets. The Central Panthers of Kevin Sheeler, 15-2, 10-0 right now, sitting atop the District 3 Quad A rankings.
All right, here we go. We got number 24. He's a 6-foot senior guard. That's Jared Wagner. Number 22 at 6 foot 2 inches tall, a senior guard, Nate Markey. Number 11 at 6 foot 2 inches, he's a senior forward, Ontario Edmonds. Number 31 at 6 foot 2 inches, a junior forward, Niko Sobastanovic. And number 14 at 6 foot 3 inches, he's a junior forward, Tommy O'Neill.
All right, and Wagner leads him in scoring 19-4 a game. Markey at 12-3 a game. Nate leads him at 26 threes. They average 61-3 a game, give up 53. A little bit of a different lineup tonight for Kevin Sheeler.
Absolutely, yeah, I saw the little changes.
All right, the Bearcats of Troy Sowers, they are 11-7 and 7-3 in the league. As Troy said, they'll have the 3 seed for the out of Division I for the league playoffs. Currently, the 10 seed in District 3 Quad A.
All right, number 2, he's a 5'9" junior guard. That's Jaquez Cassiano. Number 5 is at 6 foot 6 inches. He's a senior forward, Chris Johnson. Number 13, a 6 foot 2 inch senior guard, Montrell Morgan. Number 15, and he's a 5'11" senior guard, Trey Shifter. And number 10 at 6 foot 6 inches, a junior forward, Jaden Intermende.
All right, the Bearcats have 4 players in double figures. Cassiano 13-1, Johnson 13-6, Morgan 13-7, and Shiflett at 14-2. They average 69-4 a game, give up 62-4. And a couple of big moments could happen tonight. Trey Shiflett, the senior guard, is 11 points away from 1,000. We'll keep you posted. And Montrell Morgan, 31 points away from Calvin Parker's school record for scoring. All right, those are your starting lineups from your neighborhood family markets. You can take a break, come back with a WellSpan opening tip and Andy's keys to the game after this in the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine here on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
With 2016 now here, York Mitsubishi has a question for you. What comes standard with 7-passenger seating, 4-wheel drive, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty? The answer is the 2016 Outlander for just $22,995. We also have over 35 Outlander Sports available, starting at just $16,495. Or get 0% financing for 72 months. So stop by York Mitsubishi and see what we can do for you. York Mitsubishi, just off Route 30 on Roosevelt Avenue, York.
Penn doesn't take Sunday off. Neither do we. We're open weekdays 8 to 8 and weekends 9 to 6. Just walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics, 2319 South George Street in York, across from the Apple Hill Health Campus. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today.
Hunters Hill Orthodontics is a longtime staple in the orthodontic care community. With offices in York and Dillsburg, our practice's top priority is to provide you with the highest quality orthodontic care in a friendly, comfortable environment. Call our York offices, 1910 Kenneth Road, at 767-6694 to make your appointment, or our new location, 1399 South Queen Street at 885-5468. Or in Dillsburg, call 502-1186. We've got your smile at Hunters Hill Orthodontics.
Live local sports is on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
A good crowd on hand here tonight at York High for the big game between Central and the Bearcats. The bottom part of the gym about 80 to 85% full, and I'd say on the two sides between them we're pushing about 150 folks up top, so I'm guessing we're topping the 1,000 mark, so good to see some folks out. Probably a little cabin fever with the snow last week, but should be a good one tonight. Glad you are with us here. Remind you to... All right, Andrew, we heard from the coaches. Let's get your keys. First of all, from the Bearcats on Troy Sowers.
Well, he wants to get out and run tonight. I think he wants to control the tempo. I think they're a much better team when they run. This team just seems to... Spring Grove was able to slow the game down the other night. Even though they like to run, they realize that if they slow the game down, you get York High playing more one-on-one basketball. And I think that's an advantage and something that I think York High has to come to grips with if they're going to go, if they're going to make some noise in the county playoffs. Well, maybe not so much in the county playoffs, but definitely in districts. They'll make some noise. So the key for them is to control tempo, get out, play like a team, and run.
All right, and Kevin Sheeler.
Kevin Sheeler in Central. He wants to slow it down. I'm gonna think we're going to. You know what? It would not surprise me if we see zone out of him tonight, and right from the beginning. But he wants to do exactly what I was just talking about. He wants to slow them down and put them in half court. He knows exactly what he's got to do to beat them. And once they're in the half court, his guys are very disciplined. They're going to be very patient. They can play that game. On the opposite end of the floor, offensively, they've got to get off well, I think. In this gym, you got to, if not have the lead, you got to keep it single digits early to stay in it.
Well, yeah, and this crowd can get very rowdy, and that can can rattle some kids.
Yeah, it can. But you know what? Central, I don't think that bothers Central.
Mm-hmm.
It will play. It does play, I think, sometimes to the detriment of York High.
Yeah.
When they get in that one-on-one mode, I mean, you know what I mean? And I hate to keep preaching on that, but this is a very good basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
What we saw in the first half against Spring Grove last week was atrocious. I mean, there's not another word for it. But then they come out of the locker room in the second half, and whatever he said to them, they played really well and got, a 15 or 16-point lead to
Yeah, I think it was 18 at one point.
2.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they got a really close, and, so if they can play like
mindset that, once we get in, we can beat anybody, and I'm sure they do, but doesn't that be in the back of your mind a little bit?
You know what? I understand what he's saying. I've been there and had kids on rolls like that where they just believe. There's one thing you and the old cliche, you can't turn this on and off like a light switch.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You might want to say that, and maybe you have done it in years past. But when you did it in years past, you had a different set of guys.
Right.
There's some guys, I asked him today, what happened when you tell them? What reaction? Well, I wanted the reaction. And he says, sometimes you don't get a reaction back from them. What do you mean you don't get a reaction? Drag it out of them. I want to know. I asked you a question. You don't get that sometimes. So to answer your question, going into league playoffs, going into districts, it's tough when you've been beaten by the top teams. Not once, but you're 0 for 4.
Right.
So, wow. I mean, you got to come out and play really well to get that doubt out of your mind.
And look at the other side with Central. Central is a team that, probably, in all honesty, probably didn't expect to be 15-2 and 10-0.
I said that to him.
When Charlie Gingrich didn't come out this year, their starting center for the last 2 years, Sam Saxon, there was a leading score player of the year in the league 2 years ago when they won their first championship in 40 years. Those guys are gone. They certainly had some parts there, but they've achieved probably beyond what we thought they would. If they go into the league and the district playoffs, a couple years ago I thought they looked tired when they won the league and they got into districts. They did okay. They lost that tough semifinal, that last-second shot by Cedar Crest, that it kind of took the air out of them. And then they lost an opening round in the state playoffs. In a way, it looked like they maybe that league championship that eluded the school for 40 years. That was really important. They seemed out of gas. In this team, I'm wondering, maybe they're just playing on house money. They weren't supposed to maybe be in this position. They could go in loose and really rattle some cages.
He said, we've got a bunch of kids that really like to play together. He was talking about team dinners and, that kind of stuff, being a team. But they've got a kid on this team, this Wagner kid, that's contagious. When you got a kid like that, he don't care how it gets done. He just wants to win. He's not going to allow you to be down. He's not going to allow you to quit. When you got 5, 6, 7, 8 kids like that like each other and really play well together, and you got one of them that's just going to drive you. He's going to jump up and pat you on the back or get in your face, whatever. He knows what button he needs to push to get you to go. That's tough to beat. I'm telling you what, that's tough to beat.
Well, and the other thing from the other on the other side of it. Sometimes he can irritate the other team because you look at Jared Wagner and guys that really tough top-notch basketball players. And look at him and this. I'm losing to this guy.
Well,
you can get under their skin a little bit.
And you know what? He loves that. That kid loves that. He just he understands it. He plays the mental part of it really well. And that's because I know that if I get beat, somebody's standing behind me to help me. There's nothing like that. There's a lot to be said for playing as a unit.
All right, it's Central and York High. We're just about ready to go. We're going to have our national anthem, and then we'll have the well-spanned opening tip. Glad you're with us here on Sports Radio 1350 and Game Time PA. Now we'll have our national anthem.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right.
Here we go.
Be right back. All right, we are ready to roll here, and for those of you watching on Game Time, we understand it's been some issues a little bit, but they're working on it, so hopefully it will hang in there with us. So, all right, Central in their traveling uniforms, orange with the black numbers and black and white trim, and York High, the white uniforms with the blue numbers and the orange trim. We are just about ready to roll, and Tommy O'Neill will jump it against Chris Johnson, and Central will go left to right here in the first quarter.
Another thing York High's got to do, we watched them against Spring Grove. Trey Shiflett was non-existent for most of that game till the fourth quarter. He's got to get off early, I think, if they want to win this game.
Toss is up, and Johnson tips it back to Shiflett, and the Bearcats have it. Montreal Morgan will go, and he's picked up by Jared Wagner. Looks like man-to-man to me, Andy.
Yeah, right now that's what it is.
Morgan on the right elbow, out front to Cassiano, left side to Shiflett. Shiflett with a marquee on him in the corner now to Intermendi, and out front to Johnson.
That's where you want Intermendi, at the three-point line.
Shiflett back out to Johnson, also beyond the arc. Now in the corner, Cassiano lofts a three. It is no good, and tipped back inside by Intermendi and laid up and in by Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson, that's what he wanted. They wanted to rebound. They got the offensive glass there.
2-0 Bearcats early. Steal by Morgan. Morgan beats Wagner at his own game, takes it to the hoop and hits it. Montreal Morgan.
All right, a little good defense out front with the trap. They got him.
4-0 Bearcats out to the early lead here, and Nate Markey works it up against Cassiano, gets it to Wagner, drives down the right side of the lane, too hard off glass, and a rebound by Johnson. Chris gets it ahead. They run. Ontario Edmonds knocked it out of bounds and will stay with the Bearcats.
That time Central, the Bearcats didn't have numbers that time, and he tried to knife one through there. Not quite.
York High ball under their hoop, leading 4-0 a minute in. They go to Johnson at the elbow of the free throw line, extended to the left side, back to Morgan. And they swing it to Shiflett, who drives to the free throw line, tipped away by Landon Ray, or I'm sorry, by Sobostanovic. Deep three by Shiflett, no, and the rebound inside by Morgan. Wagner was fouled by Intermendi over the back.
Yep.
Jaden's first, and the team's first.
Now Trey,
6 junior out there, but he's going to go to the bench.
He has to.
Elliott Wilson will check in. So Wilson, the 6'3 senior, averages 6'6 a game, and Intermendi is probably done for the first half.
Well, you got to believe he's done for the first quarter.
Yeah.
Guys are a little different than girls. I mean, if it was a lady playing for me, she'd be done till 3.
They get it into Wagner. Wagner down the lane, and scoop shot, a little too acrobatic.
Yes.
Short rebound to Johnson, to Cassiano to Johnson, cutting down the right side of the lane. Cut off there, puts it up around the defensive Sobostanovic and hits it. Johnson has 4, and the Bearcats lead at 6-0.
Chris Johnson looks like he's come to play tonight. That was all Johnson inside.
The Wagner back to Markey against the full court press by the Bearcats. Now they fall out of it. Markey works it up one-on-one against Cassiano. Into the front court. Jared Wagner's missed a couple of driving layups so far for Central. Tommy O'Neill has it beyond the arc, dribbles to the top of the key. Gives it up now to Wagner at the left side. Wagner, the cutter down the lane, and the layup missed by O'Neill. And the rebound by Wilson. And a timeout taken by the Bearcats to keep possession of that ball. 5:56 left in the first quarter. York High 6, Central nothing. This timeout courtesy of Hunters Hill Ortho on the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
Need an assist? Get great savings and great weekly specials at your favorite neighborhood stores. Use your gold card and stop in now at Nell's Fresh Food Markets in Spry, East Berlin, and Carlisle. Sobel's Markets in Shrewsbury, Stewartstown, and Whiteford. And Wetzel's Market in Glen Rock. Your full court headquarters, and always the
way by Wagner as he went up for the shot. They get it to Cassiano in the corner for three. That won't go. Rebound fought for. Wilson comes down with it. His follow won't go. Wagner has the rebound. It's knocked away though, and it's Bearcat basketball. So they are fighting hard for those rebounds, are the Bearcats. And we have a foul as
number 11.
Ontario Edmonds picks it up, reached in against Montreal Morgan. Edmonds first, the team's first. Andy, in the timeout, you told me you liked the Bearcat energy.
I like the Bearcat energy right now. They look a lot different than they did against Spring Grove early. And I think they've shaken Central early here.
And they throw it into the backcourt for Morgan. It wasn't supposed to be, but it's okay. Yeah. And Morgan will bring it up. He is met there by Sobostanovic. Left-handed dribble at the top of the key, and they go to Shiflett. Right side beyond the arc. Trying to lob it into Wilson in the post. They get it to him at the high post. Now he's double-teamed, takes it in. Partially blocked that time by O'Neill, and it went out of bounds. They say off of the Bearcats. Central, on the other hand, has missed 3 layups so far.
Absolutely. They're getting the shots. Right now, they're just not falling for them. Right now, they got to break this press.
Yep. And Markey has it now. He'll work it up again one-on-one against Cassiano. Crosses over behind the back and over the York High logo at center court. Almost stolen by Cassiano. Marco saves it. Gets it in the corner now to O'Neill. Out front to Wagner, who's tripped by Shiflett as he made the drive by. So for Troy, that'll be his first and the third team foul.
Trey picks up one, but he was right on top of him.
Mm-hmm. Right now, Jared Wagner's the only guy looking at the basket for Central.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a lot's got to do with the half-court man.
Markey's 3 in the corner. That won't go. Rebound by Johnson, his third. And the 6'6 senior brings it up court. Gives it up now to Cassiano, still beyond the arc, around the Johnson screen. Cassiano picked up there by O'Neill. Gives it out front to Morgan. Morgan on the screen, gives it back to Shiflett. Open 3 at the top of the key. It is good. Trey Shiflett can't leave him alone out there. And he's now 8 away from 1,000. 9-0 York High. 4.5 left in the first quarter.
Whole lot different team than we saw against Spring Grove on Thursday night last week.
Wagner drives, gives it in the corner to O'Neill. His jumper, that won't fall. Central ice cold right now. Rebound by Wilson. And they get it out and run. Push it to Cassiano. Drives, baseline, spins, puts up a 10-footer. That won't go. Long rebound out to Sobostanovic.
See, that's the thing I'd like to see them do more. Get a better shot off. You're up 9-0 against the number 1 seed.
Wagner in the front court now. Guarded by Morgan. Matchup of senior guards. Gets it to O'Neill. Left free throw line extended. They try to feed it to Wagner, but too many white shirts in there. Wagner saves it. Now he throws it away. Picked up by Johnson. And he was fouled on Wagner reaching in. And that is Jared's first and the team's second.
Yeah, that's kind of, that was a frustration foul right there.
Yeah, they try to make too many interior passes between, and the defense was there for York High. Morgan in the front court, 9-0, 3:45 left in the first quarter. Central ice cold here, 0-5, I believe.
Absolutely. And a lot of that's got to do with the Bearcat D.
Yeah, it does. Cassiano swings it left side. Morgan at the arc, pulls back, puts up a 3. It is good.
Wow.
Montreal Morgan with a step back 3. And Kevin does take the timeout here. That is his first. We'll keep it here for the moment. 3:29 left in the first quarter. And York High up 12-0 now, Andy.
Well, they're going to, this is far from over, but this is not looking good right now for Central. Central looks completely out of sync on the offensive end. And again, I keep saying it's because of York High's defense. They didn't play this kind of man-to-man with this kind of energy the other night against Spring Grove.
No, they didn't.
And you're playing against, I understand there's no Eli Brooks or no Darren Gordon, but still, you're playing against some solid players here. But their defense is tough right now.
But Central, on the other hand, has missed 3 layups. They've missed 2 or 3 pretty open jump shots. They just got to knock a couple of these down.
Yeah, but they're not. Those jump shots aren't coming out of their offensive flow like they normally do. But yeah, you're right. They missed 3 layups, and they got to get something started here quickly.
Markey gets it in against the press, gets it into O'Neal, back to Markey, and Nate will bring it up, the 6'2 senior. Again, behind the back against Cassiano. To O'Neal at the free throw line, extended right, center circle, Edmonds. Looking it over left side of Wagner.
He had 14 wide open under the basket. He never give it up.
Wagner on the dribble, gets it to Markey in the far corner. Dribbles out, gives it in the corner to Ontario Edmonds. His 3, that goes.
All right. They're off to Schneid.
Yes. And Edmonds with his 8th 3 of the year, and it's 12-3. They were on that Schneid for a while, about 5 minutes. Morgan dribbles out front now. Wagner on him. Jared with 1 foul. They get it to Johnson, who passes on the 3, pulls up at the free throw line, a little bit strong, and the rebound is pulled in by Tommy O'Neal. It's it out to Wagner. Wagner over to Edmonds, drives baseline around Johnson, takes it hard to the hoop, blocked inside by Wilson. And Johnson has it, gets it head to Morgan, who lost it but saves it into Wilson. And the Bearcats still have it now, tipped away by Wagner, who goes into the 4th row of the bleachers trying to save it, but it will be Bearcat ball.
Wow. Look like Superman.
Yeah.
And then in Sheeler's lap.
All right, but Rich gives him back.
Rich, absolutely.
2:20 left in the first quarter. 12-3. York High leading. Morgan at the free throw line, down into the paint, kicks it out to Johnson, drives baseline left out to Wilson. Free throw line jumper is good. Nice ball movement.
Right now they're playing well and hitting everything they're putting up there.
14-3. The Panthers break the press. They run the break, and they get it beautifully done as Wagner hits the cutting O'Neal down the lane for the bucket, and it's 14-5.
No, wasn't that 31 that made that shot?
Oh, Sobostanovic, I'm sorry.
Sobostanovic.
At the other end, Johnson drives, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound, and gets the follow. Chris Johnson with the stick back.
He's got 6 right now, and he's working hard on the glass.
All right, here come the Panthers down 16-5. Going to have a reach-in foul on Elliott Wilson in midcourt against Nate Markey, and Courtney Batts checks in now for Nico Sobostanovic for Central.
Courtney Batts, he's not afraid to shoot. He is not bashful.
13 threes on the year. The 6'2 junior averages about 5.5 a game. Has it out front, gives it up to Markey. 16-5, Bearcats, 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Wagner at the arc on the right, skip pass over to Batts. May have taken a step, no call. Edmonds gets it to Markey. Oh, nice feed inside. Batts has it blocked by Johnson, gets it back and takes it to the hoop, count the basket, and a foul.
Tell you what, Batts working real hard, but Jared...
And his free throw is good, so that three-point play gets Central to within 8. It's 16-8. I'm guessing that was Montreal Morgan's foul.
All right.
Morgan has it out front now on the dribble. Goes to Johnson. Johnson guarded by O'Neal, still at the three-point line. Chris left-handed dribble. Tried to feed it inside to Schiffler. Got it there through traffic. Blocked inside by Edmonds. Picked up by Morgan. He draws the foul on Markey. So Nate Markey picks up his first personal foul, and Montreal Morgan will shoot 2 free throws. He is 77% on the year.
This is a completely different York High Bearcat team than we watched against Spring Grove the other night.
Morgan hits the first. He has 6 now, and Landon Ray checks in for Nate Markey. Ray, a 5'11 sophomore, get Nate out of there with a minute left in the quarter to avoid the second personal. Second free throw by Morgan, rimmed out and rebounded by Jared Wagner. Jared will bring it up now, working on Montreal Morgan one-on-one. Lost it, and Morgan on the floor picks it up. Ball's loose, and Johnson has it, so the steal by the Bearcats.
Wow. Against Jared Wagner, that's tough.
Johnson out front working on Tommy O'Neal. Johnson spins to the free throw line, gives it up in the corner to Cassiano. Get it to Johnson on the baseline, but about 16 feet away from the hoop. Back and down. They're going to call the offensive foul as he threw the elbow that time into the defense of Tommy O'Neal.
And, you know, yeah, you guys, I agree with that foul. I mean, he threw the elbow, and he's, like you said, you called it. He's 16 feet away from the basket, and he's trying to back the guy out.
Jared Wagner to inbound it. The first foul on Johnson and gets it to Ray. Landon Ray drives down the lane. He crashes into Chris Johnson. He picks up the offensive foul. Call on Landon Ray, who took it right at Johnson, and Chris stood his ground. So 2 straight charges, and the Bearcats have the ball leading 17-8 with 27 seconds left in the first quarter.
Chris Johnson now just got to forget about the play and get back in the game.
Morgan will walk it up. The Bearcats will hold for 1. Morgan dribbles just across the timeline, picked up there by Jared Wagner now. Needs some help and gives it up to Johnson. Clock at 10. Johnson with Ray on him. Johnson dribbles, puts up a 17-footer. That's short, rebounded by Wagner. 4 seconds left. Wagner is fouled. Reach in on Wilson. That's going to be 2 on Elliott Wilson with 2 seconds left. And Central will have a chance for a final shot here.
You know, it's 1-1.
Oh, that's a 17 foul already on York High. Wow. Yes, it is. All right, Wagner at the line. Jared, 68% on the year. The 6-foot senior has not scored yet tonight. In the front end, good. So he'll get the bonus at 17-9.
Get comfortable, people.
Yes, indeed.
Get comfortable.
Second free throw by Jared. That's good. 17-10. 2 seconds left. Bearcats get it in. The heave at the buzzer, well short. We have played one. York High 17, Central 10. First half brought to you tonight by Maple Donuts and the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
Serving York for over 50 years, Vito's Pizza. Check out their daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 till 2. 2 slices of pizza and a small soda, only $3.99, or a small sub for only $4.25. Monday night, 2 large cheese pizzas for only $15.99. Tuesday, a large stromboli and large pitcher of soda, just $11.99. Wednesday, a large cheese pizza and large pitcher of soda, just $11.49. Vito's open till midnight, Monday through Thursday till 1 a.m., Fridays and Saturdays. Dine in at 1734 South Queen Street, York, or get carry-out. Call at 43-1143.
Don't settle without Gettle and Veltri, attorneys at law, for all your legal needs. From wrongful death, personal injury, auto accidents, divorce and custody, estate planning, workers' compensation, wills and estates. Don't settle without Gettle and Veltri. For all your legal needs, call 854-4899. 854-4899. Gettle and Veltri, attorneys at law, 13 East Market Street, York.
Join me, Steve Zabin, mornings at 6 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Starting the second quarter now, York High 17, Central 10. Andy, my sense is maybe Central weathered the storm a bit.
Well, they did a little bit, but we're going to see here if Central can get into their offensive rhythm. That's what they didn't have in that first quarter.
Courtney Batts with it now in the far corner. He dribbles out and gives it up to Landon Ray. Ray guarded by Messiah Anderson, who was checked in. And Iggy off the back of the rim, no, and Johnson has another rebound. Chris has 5 already. And the Bearcats push it into the front court. Trey Shiflett on the right side drives and kicks it back to Cassiano for 3. Well short. Ball's on the floor, and it's grabbed by Nate Markey.
And that's what Shiflett did not do well early against Spring Grove.
So Bostanovich kicks it over to Ray for 3. That one's short as well, and Johnson has his 6th rebound. Gets it out quickly to Shiflett. Shiflett trying to feed it inside. Batts got his hand on it, and Markey comes up with it. So the steal there by the Central York Panthers.
Not a real smart move by York High that time, but you got to respect that possession.
Batts shaking and bacon, drives to the hoop, left and short. Offensive rebound by Zulata, and he's in some trouble. There's going to be a foul against the Bearcats. Evan Zulata with the offensive board.
Yeah, it looks like number 24, I think, 2. There it is.
Messiah Anderson, the 6'2 junior, picks up his first, and Evan Zulata, 6'4 junior, will get 1-and-1 here. He's just 8 of 15 on the year, but he hits the front end. He'll get the bonus.
Do well.
And it's 17-11.
You're right. They may have weathered it.
It was 12-0 at one point.
Absolutely.
Second one was good, so it is now 17-12. So it's been a 12-5 run by Central since being down 12-0 about 4 minutes into the game.
And now we're going to see if York High can sustain that kind of play.
Anderson drives, going to get a reach-in foul on Zulata. Evans slow to move the feet there after the initial step by Anderson. That is the 15th foul on Central, and Jared Wagner back on the floor now, and Landon Ray will take a seat.
I understand getting beat like that, but when he reached from behind, that's just not intelligent.
Trey Shiflett looking to inbound it now, having some trouble, goes deep to Anderson, who lost it out of bounds on the turnover. Central will have it down just 5, and Troy Sowers stamps his foot in frustration over there about that on the inbounds pass.
You got a couple of guys out here that aren't usually out here with, it's a little different for York High right now.
In the far corner, Markey feeds it low to Zulata. Nice little spin move in the lane against Anderson and hits the little layup there. Nice move by Evan Zulata, and it's a 3-point game.
They found their offensive rhythm, Central. They're back into what they like to do.
Cassiano out front, guarded by Sobostanovic. Drives, but is cut off, gives it up to Johnson. Johnson back to in the corner to Cassiano. Skips it over for a 3 by Schliffert in the other corner. No, and Courtney Batts has the box out and the rebound.
That's usually his spot. He likes that spot.
In the corner they go. Markey's open for 3. Oh, off the back of the rim. Rebound by Johnson. His 7th. Boy, Markey's a deadly three-point shooter. He was wide open. Chris Johnson out front. Batts on him now. Johnson drives, gives it up to Schliffert on the baseline, but nothing there.
See, it's more one-on-one right now. There's no cutters. Nobody. They're looking now maybe for Johnson underneath.
Yeah, Cassiano has it back out front to Morgan. Morgan at the three-point line, crosses over, pulls back, step back 16-footer's good by Montreal Morgan. Good shot, Andy, but it was a one-on-one.
Again, excellent shot because the young man can shoot. He pulled it off the dribble, but it was all one-on-one. There was no screen, no nothing.
Jared Wagner, high post to Zulata, turns, faces, gives it up to Markey. Nate on the dribble, deep 3, and that's off to the left side. No, and Anderson able to corral the rebound, almost lost it.
That was a deep 3. That was that Sanders kid from Southwestern.
Yeah, Rafe Sanders. Drive by Shiflett. Oh, nice driving with the left hand. Trey Shiflett puts it in, and the Bearcats lead all of a sudden is back to 7 at 21-14.
Right, you don't see, Trey doesn't do that a lot, but I'll tell you what, that was a pretty drive to the basket there.
Wagner at the three-point line, passed on it, feeds it on the baseline to Zulata, takes it up and hits it. Evan Zulata is having a nice game inside now. In GameTimePA.com.
GameTimePA.com is your home for local high school sports. Log on for all the scores, stats, photos, and more, plus live stream coverage of the area's can't-miss matchups all season long. Stay in the game no matter where you are with the free GameTime PA app. Download it directly to your iPhone or Android and get all the Game Time features you love when you're on the go. Available at the iPhone App Store, Android Market, and, of course, GameTimePA.com.
Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOY.
Well, watch out for my Super Bowl pick coming next week.
Okay. All right, Bearcat ball now. Under their hoop, leads back to 8. It was 12-0, and then Central cut it to 3.
Nice
inbounds. They snuck it to Johnson. They lost him, and the bucket is good off the feed by Morgan.
How you lose Chris Johnson?
6'6".
Really?
All right, it's back to 10 now. Panthers need a hoop. It's getting away from them a little bit. Courtney Batts dribbles out front against Jace Snyder, who's checked in. High post, they go. Zulata works against Snyder. Off the glass, too strong. Rebound by Snyder, and he pushes it.
Snyder wanted to push it.
Holds it up, though. Gives it to Morgan. Morgan dribbling at the right elbow extended. Out front they go to Shiflett. Right side now to Snyder. Got 3 guards out there. And a steal by Wagner. Wagner to the hoop. Hits it. That's the 1,000th time, I swear, he has done that in the games I've called over the 3 years.
I didn't even see him, and there he was. Again, like you said. Now you see him, now you don't. But right at the top of the key, boom.
And back with it is Morgan. Morgan shake and bake, pulls up from 17, hits it. He is field. Place him. Frustrating night for Jaden.
And Troy's over there working Gordy. Kaufman pretty good.
Thought maybe he was just asking him out for dinner after the
game. Absolutely.
Second free throw missed, rebounded by Montreal Morgan. And they push it up to Shiflett. Trey drives, kicks it to Cassiano. And Jaquez will bring it back out, give it to Morgan. Morgan working against Wagner on the right side. Gives it back to Snyder, now to Shiflett. Shiflett with O'Neal right on him. Trey fakes the 3, drives, has to pick it up, go back out front to Cassiano. With Zulata on him, they give it to Snyder. And a steal again by Wagner. Wagner takes it to the... Oh, man, was he tackled from behind. And watch out, that's going to be an intentional foul. Good call by Gordy Kaufman.
Excellent call.
As Snyder absolutely tackled him from behind.
That's an excellent call. You got to get the kid off the floor. See, and I hope Troy agrees with that, because what he did was, and Wagner's a smart basketball player. Wagner got that ball in the middle of the floor. He cut in front of Snyder to defend against the block, and Snyder grabbed him by his shoulders and pulled him down. He never went for the basketball, and that's the difference.
And you understand, foul to keep the guy from making a layup.
Understand a hard foul across his arms, even coming from behind, but going for the basketball is one thing, okay?
And Wagner. Jaser Drayden checks in. We saw this sophomore play well against Northeastern, and also Nate Markey back in for Central. Panther ball under their hoop, now trailing by 7, 2:06 left before halftime. Wagner goes deep to Markey. Markey pulls it back to center court, and it goes left side to Wagner now. Wagner about 30 feet out. Gets a screen from Edmonds, give and go. Edmonds to the hoop, and hits the layup. Beautiful give and go.
That was as pretty as it gets.
5-point game, 28-23, buck 45 left in the half. Morgan into the front court. It's a screen from Shiflett, crosses over, goes to Trey. Trey thought about the three, gives it up in the corner to Johnson. Johnson driving on Edmonds, almost lost his footing, goes back to Cassiano outside the three-point line. Drives and kicks it to Drayden. And Johnson at center circle, left side now to Morgan. Minute 25 in the half. Morgan drives, double team, feeds it inside to Johnson among three players. Oh, they're going to call the foul. Looked from here like Markey got a lot of ball, but they say he got some arm too.
And that's two.
So Nate Markey, the 6'2 senior with 2 personals, and on the line, Chris Johnson, he's 66% on the year.
You know that play with Edmonds and on this end, Edmonds and Wagner, that give and go. That was a pretty... He set the screen for him and then slipped it, but he gave Wagner time to create some space for that pass. That was pretty at this end of the floor.
It was. First free throw good by Johnson, extends the lead to 6. Second one no good, and the ball's on the floor, and...
Griffith's looking for that three. He needs to get that out of the way.
Yeah. 45 seconds left in the half. Bearcats by 4. Morgan, and we have a foul. They're going to call Ontario Edmonds for pushing in the back of Chris Johnson. Edmonds second, and Chris Johnson, who was 1 of 2 a moment ago, will go back to the free throw line.
Bearcats playing well right now in all phases of the game. But the Panthers are right there. I mean,
Well, they a couple times they got down pretty far and have come back here. So it's a 4-point lead at the moment. 38 seconds left, and the 6'6 senior Chris Johnson hits the front end. He will get the bonus. It's now 30-25 Bearcats.
Still could be, going into halftime. I'd be real happy if I'm.
Wagner will shoot 2 more free throws. He is 4 of 4 at the line tonight. He beat Morgan out front that time.
Yes, he did. Well, I'm not sure beat is the right term. Morgan was right on his hip going to the bat. That's why he didn't make the basket.
And the first,
but still, he got a step on him.
Yep, first free throw is good. It's 31-26, 23 seconds left before the York Mitsubishi halftime show.
You got the York College assistant coaches sitting up here to my right, looking at their boy on the line. It's impressive.
He hits them both. He's 6 of 6 at the line. It's 31-27. Morgan will bring it up. The Bearcats will work for 1.
Now, they're going to work for 1. Let's see if they get 1 that's better than, say, an 18 or 19 footer.
Crossing over, and Wagner right on Shiflett, gives it to Johnson, top of the key, clock at 8 to Morgan. Lost off the foot of Wagner, though, out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Bearcats at midcourt, 4.6 seconds left.
Let's see what Coach can pull out here.
Drayden will inbound it. Goes to Morgan. Morgan with Wagner on him, pulls up from 17. That's too long. Rebound by Markey, and that will end the first half. Garrett Markey pulls it in. We played 16 minutes. It's York High 31 and Central 27. The York Mitsubishi halftime show comes your way next on the High School Basketball Game of the Week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
It's a new year, Why not get a new go-to? Come on, you're in a rut. You're on autopilot. I mean, why choose the same go-to maple donut every time when Charlie Donut gives you so many to choose from?
We have the tasty 58 maple donuts.
It'll be a snap. The next time you walk up to a Maple Donuts counter, resist the urge to order what you always order and try one of Charlie's other delectable creations. Always choose the glazed maple donut, go for the French crawler. Always opt for the powdered sugar jelly filled, go for the glazed devil's food. I mean, be honest. Does your family not even ask you what you want anymore because they know it's always the same thing? Well, how about you rock their world? Tell them you'll take whatever maple donut they bring home. Whoa, it's a revolution. Hey, who knows? By this time next year, your go-to maple donut may have a whole new flavor.
Maple donuts taste right. 58 tasty great. Anytime, day or night. Maple donuts taste right.
You hear a lot about CPAP masks these days, but here's something you don't hear much about. Over half of the people who wear a CPAP mask for sleep stop wearing it within a year. How's that working for you? Dr. Gordon Bell would like you to hear this. Dental sleep therapy has dental options that can help many of those people. If you or someone you live with is struggling with sleep apnea, visit YorkSleep.com and see how Dr. Gordon Bell can help return your home to peaceful nights of deep, restful sleep. If you're groggy during the workday, if you wake up feeling exhausted, if you would like to get your nighttime sleep patterns back to a healthy state, get a confirmation from your doctor, then meet with Dr. Bell at his office on West Market 4.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
And we're back at York High. Ron Room and Andy Bria with you. It's halftime, the York Mitsubishi halftime show. York High got out to a 12-0 lead. They led at 17-10 after one, but Central took the second quarter 17-14, and it's tightened up. Bearcats leading at 31-27 at the half. We're going to take another break and back with our halftime stats and get you some scores from other games after this on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
What do John Yachty, Jacob Yachty, Austin Tillotz, and Kelly Ryan and Morgan Klunk have in common? Besides being basketball players, 2,000-point scorers, all-state athletes, or state champions, they all trained with John Kirchner at Unique Physique. John guarantees that he will increase your vertical jump, increase your strength, quickness, and get you ready for the upcoming season. Coaches, get your team ready with plyometrics, and John will even come to your gym to get your team ready. Players and coaches, call John Kirchner at Unique Physique at 755-2639 for details.
Did you know that Shipley Energy can...
Ballyhoo is unlike any other program in the York area. We provide a total program to improve young athletes mentally as well as physically. At Ballyhoo, you'll train with the top coaches in the region and grow in your love for the sport. Our athletes compete at the highest levels in a variety of sports, from volleyball and basketball to lacrosse and softball. We are located in the 60,000 square foot Heritage Hills Athletic Club. This past year, 30 Ballyhoo athletes went on to play at the college level. You'll not only receive great coaching, but personal training and sports performance training as well. And as a Ballyhoo athlete, you are immediately enrolled in the Heritage Hills Passport to Perks program, offering discounts throughout the Heritage Hills Resort. Call 757-4833 or visit us online at ballyhoosportsacademy.com or everyonecanplayhh.com.
First in York, first in sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Back at York High, Ron Room and Andy Bria with you on the York Mitsubishi halftime show. We have what we thought we had. We're going to have a good one. York High leading at 31-27 over Central Panthers here at the half. Our stats now start with the Central Panthers.
2 field goals and 1 for 1 from the line. He has 5, and Niko Sobastanovic has 1 field goal for 2. They had 10 in the first quarter, 17 in the second quarter.
All right, Jared Wagner, the 6-foot senior, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals to go along with his points in that first half. Not a bad half.
Yep, not bad. For the York High Bearcats, Jacques Cassiano, no points. Chris Johnson, 4 field goals, 3 of 4 from the line. He has 11. Montrell Morgan, 4 field goals, 1 and 2 from the line. He has 10. Trey Shiflett, he has 8. He's 3 shy now of his 1,000. You ought to get that out of the way. And Elliott Wilson off the bench, 1 field goal for 2. They had 17 in the first quarter, 14 in the second.
All right, and Chris Johnson has 7 rebounds to lead him in that category. Montrell Morgan, 3 assists and a couple of steals. Those are your halftime stats. The Bearcats by 4. Going to take a break, come back with the York Traditions Bank halftime scoreboard show and our coach's pep talk from Unique Physique after this on the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
My name is Lou Laviton. I own a company called Sparkle Wash, where professionals and business owners have to be realistic. There are bumps in the road, cash flow, purchasing of equipment, and what's been really interesting with York Traditions is you call them in good times, that's always great, you do your reviews, but what's best is when you call them when things are rough and you need help, because these guys also serve as good advisors for small business, and you're not judged, it's simply working together for a good solution, side by side. When things are tough is where a bank will shine. It really is about building the relationship, and this is what York Traditions does. Small business has to appreciate that.
Transition to traditions today. York Traditions Bank.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Teams are making their way back to the court. It's halftime. The York Mitsubishi halftime show. Rossford 33-22 as the Wildcats fight to get into the district playoffs. Eliza Kravitz reporting from Dover that Susquehannock leading Dover 29-23. That would be a blow to Dover's hopes to get into those district playoffs. Cade Burdett is on the scene at Northeastern. The Bobcats leading Gettysburg 30-23 at the half. That is a big win for Gettysburg and for West York. A Gettysburg loss and a West York win tonight gets the Bulldogs in, and Dave Coombs reporting from Suburban. West York leading Suburban 16-15 after one quarter. The Fighting Irish of York Catholic can lock up Division III with a win tonight at home against Hanover, and they lead the Nighthawks 33-24 at the break right now. And Spring Grove looking to keep on a roll. They are leading Red Lion. As soon as I can find it here, it's leading Red Lion 41-35 in the third quarter, so that is certainly not in the bag for the Spring Grove Rockets at the moment. And see, we don't have a lot in the way of girls scores to pass on here. York Catholic leading DeLone in the second quarter. That's a big one, 23-14, and Suburban leading West York 19-14 at the half as Suburban looks to lock up the 2 seed. That is your York Traditions Bank halftime scoreboard show. Time now for our coach's pep talk from Unique Physique. All right, let's first get with Troy Sowers. They had the big lead 12-0. Since then, it's been 27-17 in favor of Central.
And shot selection for York High, I think, in the second quarter was not as good as it was in the first quarter. They got to do it as a team, not the one-on-one stuff. Their defense was still as good as it was, but their offense, they got to be a little more patient. As far as Central got on track in the second quarter offensively. They could do nothing, and I think because of York High, I think they need to go back to that real patient half-court offense, control a little bit more in their offensive end of the clock, slow this game down a little bit. I think they'll be fine.
All right, that's the coach's pep talk from Unique Physique. Panthers down by 4, looking to go to 11-0 in the league and 16-2 overall and keep the top spot in District 3 Quad A for the time being. I would like to see maybe Evan Zulata get a little more involved, Andy. The 6'4 junior came on. He ended up with 7 points and 3 rebounds in about 7 or 8 minutes of playing time.
Right, and he's a force inside. You got to credit, though, to Bearcat Biggs with really keeping the ball out of there as much as they were able to. But like you said, when he gets the ball around the basket, he's a force. He is a force.
Don't forget Hershey Bears hockey right after we're done tonight, so stay tuned for that. Tomorrow morning, Central PA game day at 9 with the Dr. Wayne McCullough, and a York College doubleheader with Darrell Henry tomorrow afternoon at 12:45. Bearcat ball, the basket to our right as we started out. Montrell Morgan dribbles out front against Jared Wagner. Skips it in the corner of Shiflett, almost lost it, but Trey able to save it. Ontario Edmonds on him. Trey dribbles out front now. Nate Markey picks him up, and Shiflett gives it up to Chris Johnson. And then back out to Jaquez Cassiano at the center circle. Left side, Shiflett. Right side, rather. I'm sorry, my left. But their right hand knocked away by Wagner. They went to high post to Johnson. Ball's on the floor, but Chris able to save it.
Wagner that time back in the passing lane where he kind of camps out.
Johnson now out front with Wagner on him, going the corner to Shiflett. Trey looking it over, but Ontario Edmonds right with him. Shiflett drives, kicks it in the far corner to Morgan, lost it out of bounds. Pass was a little high and hard, and the Bearcats turn it over.
And I was just about to say, they don't reverse the basketball. That basketball stayed on their right-hand side of the offensive end almost the entire possession until he kicked it opposite. That ball's got to go back and forth against this defense.
Panthers quickly in the front court, driving down the lane, and Soba Stanovic took it between two Bearcats. Nobody stopped him, and Nico banks it home, and it's a 2-point Bearcat lead.
Pico back in the game, and he just took it hard to the basket.
Schiffler reverse dribble, takes it hard to the hoop and banks it home. Trey hits it. He's now one shy of 1,000, and the Bearcat lead back to 4.
I'm not sure it's 2 times he went to the basket. I'm not sure I've seen that in 3 years. They're going to get...
Oh, they're calling Ontario Edmonds for the illegal screen, and that's 3 on Edmonds, the 6'2 senior, and he'll go to the bench, and Evan Zulata, the 6'4 junior, will check in. Edmonds was kind of shocked by that call, by the look on his face.
Well, he was, but they might be better off right now with Zulata in the game. If they get the ball down low to him, like you said.
Right. Morgan brings it up, now to Johnson, top of the key, turns and faces on Zulata. Now Chris backs it out towards center court. Hands it off to Jaquez Cassiano. And he pulls it back to center court. 6.5 left in the third quarter. Bearcats by 4. Cassiano drives into Zulata, has to back off. Ball is loose. Shiflett gets it. Now he loses it. Ball's on the floor. Trey still has it, takes it up. No, but he draws the foul. And so we will go to the line and try to make it for his 1,000th career point. The foul's on Zulata. That's 2 on him.
Is it on Zulata?
I think he said 3-2, yeah.
I thought it was on Markey, but I'll take Zulata.
I think it was a 3, and here's the shot. Short.
No. He's got to get this out of the way.
Yeah,
Come on, Trey.
Just 47% at the line this year.
That's right. He has been struggling.
Yep.
Come on, Trey.
Senior, 4-year starter, left-handed shot.
There it is.
It's good, and there it is. 1,000 career points for Trey Shiflett. Congratulations to him. He gets hugs all around. They'll stop the game, present him the ball. He's been a superb player here for Troy Sowers for 4 years. Troy secures that basketball for him, and he will join the list of 1,000-point scorers for the York High Bearcats. And with that free throw, puts him up by 5 with 6:26 left in the third. A young lady out there with some balloons for him. Good ball. Walks up in the stands and hands it to a gentleman with a Bearcat shirt on, a Bearcat hat, and gets a hug from some folks there. Special people in his life, and congratulations to Trey Shiflett. I think he's a nice young man, too.
He is.
We met him over at the
I know he's going to college and play, and I forget where he's going, but he is a nice young guy. I remember him starting as a freshman.
Yep.
Excellent student, too.
Yep. Jared Wagner congratulates him. So that's out of the way for him. He can forget about that.
Yep.
And
Go back to playing some basketball.
This for Jared tonight. It's a 3-point Bearcat lead. Out front now, Shiflett with it, with O'Neal on him now, and give it up to Morgan. On the switch, O'Neal picks him up, and Montreal feeds it in the baseline to Cassiano, who drives baseline, got in trouble, but able to get it back out to Johnson. Johnson at the free throw line, puts it up from 14 and hit the shot over Sobostanovic that time.
Right now, Johnson's just about unstoppable if he gets the ball within 10 feet. There's a lot of...
Yep, and again, Wagner sprinted into the front court and fed it to him on the baseline. Good head fake, got Johnson in the air and hit the bucket. And there's a steal by Wagner, his third of the game.
Unbelievable how Zulata comes off the bench and are just a different kind of ball club right now.
Markey in the corner, Wagner for 3 to tie it, hits it.
Bang!
Jared Wagner off a Markey feed.
Timeout. York High.
All right, Bearcats take a timeout. It's 36-all, 5:20 left in the third. This timeout courtesy of Hunters Hill Ortho on the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
Need an assist? Get great savings and great weekly specials at your favorite neighborhood stores. Use your gold card and stop in now at Nell's Fresh Food Markets in Spry, East Berlin, and Carlisle. Sobel's Markets in Shrewsbury, Stewartstown, and Whiteford. And Wetzel's Market in Glen Rock. Your full court headquarters and always the freshest meats and produce.
Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK. First in York, first in sports.
All right, we are tied at 36, 5:20 left in the third quarter. And Montreal Morgan brings it into the front court out of the timeout, gives it to Cassiano. They lob it low to Johnson on the low post, goes up against the double team, can't get it to go, and the ball is brought in by Tommy O'Neal. And here come the Panthers looking for the lead. Get it to Nate Markey. Markey hustles it in the front court to Wagner. Oh, a deep, deep three, and it's good. Holy Toledo.
That one right there was 24 feet.
And it's a 3-point Panther lead, the first lead of the night. They were down 12-0 to start this game.
He bombed that from downtown.
He did. Johnson with it now out beyond the arc, gives it up to Morgan. Morgan behind the Johnson screen. His three-pointer is good, and we are tied.
And Morgan says, no, I can do this.
39 apiece. And Johnson's going to get the foul for hooking the arm of Tommy O'Neill that time, and for Chris, that'll be his second.
Yeah, it's Wagner feeling it right now.
Yes, he is. 2 threes in a row, and they get it to Wagner at midcourt. He might shoot from there, and he does. Oh, my God, that was too far out. Yeah, it's all right. All right, he acknowledges
I'm not sure Coach really, Coach is standing there, leaning on the scores table, shaking his head.
And Jared acknowledged the razzing of the crowd there, and so that was too far. 39 apiece, 4:20 left in the third. Morgan picks it up out front and gives it up to Chris Johnson. Johnson looking it over, thought about a three, goes to Wilson, and he drives against Wagner,
Wilson
slaps it away.
Whoa.
It's going to be Bearcat ball. A couple score updates. York Catholic girls leading DeLone 30-26 in the battle for Division III. West York 28, Suburban 25 at the half for the boys. A Bulldog win and a loss by Gettysburg, and the Bulldogs are in the league playoffs.
Whoa.
Johnson dribbling out front, almost lost it. Morgan picks it up. His three-pointer, that's a little short. Rebound by Sobostanovic.
And that time the switch hurt them. The central switching man-to-man hurt them.
Sobostanovic,
I thought he walked.
Yeah, into the paint, kicks it back out to Wagner now. Markey, top of the key, left side they go to Sobostanovic, in the corner to O'Neill. O'Neill goes back out to Wagner. Wagner to Markey. Nate on the dribble to O'Neill on the right side, guarded by Wilson. And back out to Wagner, left side, and now in the corner to Markey. He pulls it out, goes to O'Neill. Baseline, Markey cutting into the lane. Right-handed shot from 6, got the roll.
Markey that time with a nice move to get into the paint. That's his first field goal of the night.
Panther lead now, 41-39. 3:15 left in the third. Shiflett gives it up to Cassiano. Jaquez will hand it off to Chris Johnson. And back to Morgan beyond the arc on the right side. Top of the key, still dribbling, and now picks it up, gives it back to Johnson, who drives on the left side, jump stop, puts it up off glass, and good. Nice drive by the 6'6 senior, and we're tied at 41.
That was a nice offensive possession by York High. Great ball movement to get Johnson a lane to the basket.
Nate Markey dribbles out front, gets a Sobostanovic screen. They go in the corner to O'Neill, back to Markey. And now Sobostanovic about 30 feet out, top of the key, O'Neill, left side Wagner. Wagner looking it over, nothing there. Guys cutting through the lane, but nobody open right now.
I believe you got to guard him out there.
Yeah. High post to Markey. Markey feeds it on the baseline to O'Neill. A lot of cutting down the lane, but the quick hands of Wilson knocked it away, but it will stay with the Panthers under their hoop. Jaden Intermeni with 3 fouls checks in, the 6'6 junior for York High, and Courtney Batts, 6'2 junior for Central. Panther ball, Wagner to inbound down under the Panther hoop.
Got to get it in.
Gets it into Markey in the corner, just beat the 5. Around a screen by Zulata, but nothing there. Markey to O'Neill. O'Neill back to Markey. He put up a deep 3. Doesn't get the roll. Rebound by Zulata. Puts it back up and in.
Well, I'll tell you, where's this kid been?
Really?
He is a force in the paint tonight.
43-41. Quickly to Markey down the right side. Left it short. Intermendi bothered it. There's Zulata to pick it up. Too strong, though. And Johnson with the rebound. We have a foul.
And I believe that's on Markey. Yep.
Yeah, and that's 3. So he needs to be careful. In fact, he's going to sit down for a while. And Landon Ray, the 5'11 sophomore, will check in. And Garrett will probably take the next minute 47 off to the end of the period.
And coach is down there telling Mark, you got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
You're 90 feet away.
Right. So Morgan brings it up. The Bearcats down by 2. $1:40 left in the third. Shiflett with it to Johnson now. Johnson in the corner working on O'Neill. Drives in the paint, puts it up. Tough shot, no, but gets his own rebound and draws the foul. And they're call it on Zulata, and that'll be 3 on Evan Zulata.
That's it.
So Chris Johnson with his 10th rebound of the game. Sorry, that was number 9. He'll get 2 free throws. He is 3 of 4 tonight.
He will definitely end up with the double-double.
And that's good. And it draws the Bearcats within a point. Nico Sobostanovic in for Zulata now with those 3 personals, so he'll set the rest of this period, which is 90 seconds.
And that's tough for Central right now because Zulata has been a force in the paint.
Second free throw gets the roll. It is good, and checking in for York High is Elliot Wilson, and Chris Johnson will sit down.
Chris Johnson's got a real nice line going tonight. he'll end up with a double-double. He's playing an excellent basketball game for the Bearcats.
We're tied at 43, 90 seconds left in the third. Courtney Batts will bring it up now against the pesky defense of Jaquez Cassiano. And he gets it into the front court. Goes to O'Neal, now right side to Landon Ray. Sobostanovic left side to Wagner. Wagner drives on Wilson, gives it back to O'Neal. O'Neal feeds it on the baseline to Ray. Ray backs in on Shiflett and hits it.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Yeah, Landon Ray off the bench, backing in against Trey Shiflett. Excellent move.
1 minute left in the third. 2-point Panther lead. Morgan skip pass over to Cassiano. Well beyond the arc, top of the key Wilson. Back to Shiflett. Now Shiflett with Ray on him. Trey in the left-hand dribble, crosses over, gives it to Cassiano. He'll put up a three. That is short, and the rebound is taken by O'Neal.
Give him back to Anger. Will he hold for one? Yeah, he's going to go for one, I believe.
Batts and Wagner will pull it out now. O'Neal up near center court. 35 left in the period. Kevin Sheeler calling out the plays.
It's calling 5, which basically is we're going to run 5-out motion and see what they're going to get. Try to get a layup late in the foul.
O'Neal with it center court. Clock at 24. Now Batts on the right side. Courtney on the dribble goes back to O'Neal. O'Neal with Intermendi out on him. There's a steal by the Bearcats. Wilson, who anticipated and lost it. Lost it as he headed to the bucket, and Wagner picks it up with 9 seconds left.
Plenty of time.
Jared pops a three.
Short.
Off the right side, no. Rebound by Shiflett, and he will launch it from 35 feet, and that's no good either. So we end the quarter with 2 missed threes. We have played 3. Central 45, York High 43. Final 8 minutes come your way next on the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK and GameTimePA.com.
When you need a haircut,
YK.
Ready to start the final 8 minutes at Central 45, York High 43. But Andy, it was 12-0 York High about halfway through the first quarter. Since then, Central has taken this one 45-31.
And they're playing well, and they're starting to heat up offensively now. Their motion looks real good. Though the Bearcats, I thought the Bearcats, that's probably some of the best half-court offense I've seen them run all year, and we've seen them a number of times. So both teams looking good here. We're looking for a real exciting 8 minutes here.
Yes, we are. Foul situation, Markey, Zalata, Edmonds, each with 3 for Central. Intermendi with 3 for York High. And it will be Central ball to start it. They had the basket to our left. We get it into Sobostanovic, back to Markey. Sobostanovic cutting down the lane and didn't get it. Wilson with the steal for York High. Here come the Bearcats. Johnson down the left side working on Markey, takes it to the hoop and hits it, and we're tied.
And Johnson was not going to be denied that time. He was going to the basket when he got the ball.
Batts now against the pressure. Half-court trap. Too high to Edmonds, and they turn it over. Markey threw it a little bit high for Edmonds, so the Bearcats get the TO.
Right, and here comes Wagner. So much for the rest.
Really, 20 seconds he got.
Right, you got 20. You got an extra 20 seconds.
We'll replace Landon Ray. And Zulata remains on the bench with those 3 fouls. They'll probably try to get a couple minutes if they can. And Montrell Morgan brings it up for the Bearcats. Left side of Johnson, driving now to the baseline cutoff.
And took it away.
Cassiano gets it into Johnson. Johnson, deep 3. It's off to the right. In fact, that's an air ball, and Intermendi couldn't get it. He wasn't ready for it, so on the out of bounds, it will go to the Panthers.
He punted that one out of bounds.
Yep. 45 apiece, 7:21 left. Hershey Bears hockey as soon as we're done. Central PA game day tomorrow morning at 9 with Wayne McCullough and Darrell Henry with the York College basketball doubleheader tomorrow at 12:45. Courtney back. I know. Now he does. They try to feed it inside. Too many guys in white shirts, and Wilson gets his second steal. They get it ahead. They run. Cassiano crashes into Sobostanovic. He was out of control, and Markey picks it up. Markey feeds it left side to Batts. Backs it, takes it up against Johnson, and hits it. Nicely run break by the Panthers.
And Batts finishing out with the floater, but he had to because Chris Johnson was standing there ready to swat it into the first row.
47-45, Panthers by 2. Intermendi trying to feed Johnson on the low box, but he's 15 feet in now. He fades it to Wilson, cutting down the lane, missed the layup, and Intermendi able to pick up the loose ball. His jumper from 15 won't go, and the rebound by Ontario Edmonds. And we have a foul down here, I think, on Morgan.
Yeah.
It is on the reach in on Montrell Morgan. That is 2 on him. And Trey Shiflett checks back in for Cassiano. And so Zulata remains on the bench with 3 fouls and 6:15 left. So
here comes the trap.
And Wagner in some trouble, gets it back to Markey. Markey to Wagner in the front court now. Jared in the corner to Edmonds. He'll pop a three. Yes!
Oh, he did not want to hit that one. There was a little jawing going on. That one will keep you quiet.
Yep. And Wagner's 6th assist tonight, and the Panther lead is 5, their biggest of the game. Bats knocks it away from Morgan, who gets it back in the corner. Johnson, he drives now on Markey. Too strong off glass. Wagner and Wilson go to the floor. Held ball. Alternate possession will keep it with the Bearcats.
Absolutely. Wagner right there.
And Tommy O'Neill checks in for Central. Sobostanovic goes to the bench.
It's going to be interesting to see now if York High can stay in their game down 5.
In a low post to Johnson. He kicks it out to Shiflett in the corner. He dribbles, nothing there, gives it back to Johnson beyond the arc out front to Morgan. Morgan threw it to Wilson, who wasn't ready for it. Got it anyway. Wilson drives now, slapped away by Batts. Ball's on the floor. Wilson picks it up, missed it. Johnson with the offensive rebound.
Batts again.
By Batts, out of
Batts
bounds.
again.
And whose ball is it?
It's York High's ball.
All right.
Batts 2 times with the hand swats the ball away.
And that's the 10th rebound for Johnson, so he's got his double-double. And Shiflett will inbound it under the Bearcat hoop. Looking, pops it into Johnson. Double team knocked out of bounds by Edmonds, and will stay with the Bearcats. Panthers lead by 5, 50-45, 5:30 left.
Interesting right here. A lot of fighting going on down here for position.
Morgan in the corner. Bats on him. Morgan puts it up. They're going to call the foul on Bats, I guess.
He jumped right into him.
Wow, and that's 3. That's right. Three free throws coming.
Yep.
Courtney Bats first personal, but 3 free throws to come for Montrell Morgan.
That was all Montrell Morgan, Ron. I mean, he just jumped. He got him up off his feet and then just jumped into him.
1 of 2 tonight, 77% on the year. The 6'2 senior. First one, whoa, hit the rim 3 times, but dropped.
That's 1.
50-46. The lead of the Panthers is 4. Second free throw for the senior. Good.
That's 2.
And he'll go for the hat trick. Spins it, bends the knees, puts the hoopward, and 3-3. And that cuts the lead to 2.
And that's the easiest 3 he'll get.
Markey in the backcourt, working on Johnson. Couple of seniors. Markey in the front court, left-hand dribble. In the corner, they go to Edmonds. Hit a 3 from there a moment ago, but Wilson's out on him this time. Edmonds, the bats on the right side.
Central looking to get a lot of spacing here for their offense.
Edmonds near center court now as the guys screen away from the ball. Edmonds still holding it, now gives it to Markey. 5 minutes left in the game, Central by 2. Markey with Shiflett on him. Nate left side to Courtney Batts. Sobostanovic will check in next. Dead ball. Batts drives all the way down the right side. Count the basket and a foul on Wilson. Hard drive by Courtney Batts.
I'm not sure what's going on. We got a lot of talking going on.
Yeah, they had to restrain Batts after that, and now Gordy Kaufman's talking to some of the guys. The foul on Wilson will be his 3rd. And Batts to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
This Batts, though, he's got some game.
Yeah. He's a 6'2 junior, and free throw off to the left, no good. Rebound by Montrell Morgan. Morgan will bring it up. 4-point Panther lead. Right side to Chris Johnson, drives the free throw line back to Morgan. Thought about a 3, drives instead, pulls up from 15, and airballed it and grabbed by Batts. I don't know if maybe Markey got a hand on that.
Batts, no, I don't think so, but Batts playing really well.
Batts out front from Intermendi on him. He gives it back to Markey. Pulls it back to center court. Now Intermendi on him. He has those 3 fouls.
And he's got 3 fouls, and he's got a lane to the basket. I'm not understanding. Now Markey's going to take the lane away in the front.
High post to Markey. They tried to do the give and go, but York High was ready. O'Neill with it now out front. He gives it up to Markey beyond the arc. They're cutting through the lane as Edmonds, who almost walked. And give it back to Wagner. Wagner with Morgan on him, and now to Edmonds. 4 minutes left in the game. 4-point Panther lead.
Panthers being very patient in this offense. Well, he made it a good one.
16 foul, though, so York High shoots the rest of the way. The Bearcats only have 3. Cassiano in for the Bearcats. Sobostanovic for Central.
And that can make their press really tough when you got 3 fouls to give.
Timeout Central. The Panthers lead the Bearcats 52-48, 3:47 left. Don't go away. You're listening to the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine and on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com.
If you're buying new flooring, besides clicking around the internet, you need to see Wecker's Flooring Center. You'll be excited by Wecker's new design center for luxury vinyl tile. Wecker's expanded hardwood and laminate departments will impress you. And Wecker's variety of carpeting and warehouse truckload buys on remnants and rolls is unmatched. But the reason to choose Wecker's is trust. From the buying experience to the installation. That's why they're voted best 11 years running. Wecker's Flooring Center, Route 30, Hellam exit. Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
And the final from Spring Grove, the Rockets go to 15-2. Actually, I think they're 16-2 now, and 10-2 in the league as they defeat Red Lions 60-51. So the Rockets keep on rolling. Here, it is 52-48. Central leading York High, 3:47 left. All right, Andy, what's the strategy?
He has not that many looks in the second half. I'm not sure he's even he scored 3 in the third quarter.
All right, Bearcat basketball. And Montrell Morgan with it, picks up his dribble. They try to feed it into foot. That won't go. Shiflett gets his own rebound, takes it back up and hits it.
Trey Shiflett exerting himself right there.
Just a momentary stoppage here. And Eliza Kravitz reports, Andy, sorry to say, Dover came back and beat Susky 58-45.
Okay.
So
Just
Dover
goes to show you how much of a prognosticator I am.
And we have a timeout here by Central. Central takes a 30. They were having trouble getting the ball in. We'll keep it here for the moment. 3:16 remaining. So
this is setting up for overtime. It's got it written all over.
Oh boy. Well,
we got no foul trouble at this point. I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, we got some guys with three. I mean,
but at this time of the game, you would.
Yeah, and Zulada's been on the bench the entire fourth quarter, so he has not played yet. The 6'4" junior who really had an impact on the game.
And I think he can have an impact coming down a stretch if Sheeler chooses to use him. So Sobastanovic, that last time down the floor, excellent post move inside to get 2 points. So well done there.
So Panthers need to inbound it against this press. They get it into Wagner. He gets it back to O'Neal. Now over to Markey. Nate gets it ahead to Sobastanovic. They handle it to Edmonds. Now back out to O'Neal and to Wagner. So they handled the press well. Left side, Markey, high post to Sobastanovic. He's doubled.
I think
he walked, but he has a call over here.
Yeah,
that's a good call. Took the extra step against the double team, so the Bearcats get it on the half-court pressure turnover.
Right, he changed pivot foots, Max, basically.
Yep. Shiflett has it. The senior scored his thousandth point tonight into the front court. Under 3 minutes left. The Panthers by 4. Gives it up to Cassiano right in front of Coach Troy Sowers on the sideline. Now Johnson top of the key. Left side Morgan, left side Shiflett. He pops a 3. Nope, short. And hit the top of the basket, so that will give it to Central. Leading by 4, 2:42 left, and Courtney Batts checks in for Nico Sobastanovic. Again, the full court press by York High. Nate Markey inbounded right under us here, and he get it into Wagner. Jared back to Batts, and he'll bring it up one-on-one against Jaden Intermendi.
And I think that's a matchup that favors the Panthers right there.
And Batts goes around him, takes it down the lane, and missed the shot. Hits the deck. Rebound by Morgan. Here come the Bearcats. Morgan crashes to Wagner, and Markey with the steal. And Markey gets it ahead. Into the paint he goes, feeds it to Edmonds. Edmonds hits a layup.
And Edmonds that time had Intermendi just let him go up because he didn't want to pick up the fourth.
Right.
But at this point, who cares?
Yeah. Bearcats are back. They trail by 6 now. 2:05 left. Morgan fell down but got it off to Shiflett. Trey has a shot blocked by O'Neal, but did it go out of bounds? I think it did. Right. It's going to stay with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Or with the Bearcats.
Bearcats, right.
So O'Neal with the block, the 6'3" junior. And the Bearcats inbounded to Johnson on the low post. In the corner to Shiflett. Back out to Morgan.
It's 3-3 here in the fourth quarter.
First one on the way, and that is rolled out. So it remains 56-50. And here comes Evan Zulada, the 6'4" junior who's played well, and he will replace Ontario Edmonds with the 4 fouls.
I think he could be a factor coming down a stretch here.
Second free throw by Johnson. That's no good. Missed them both. And O'Neal goes high for the rebound. He has 5 rebounds tonight. And there's a Morgan on the floor to try and get a steal. Ball's loose, and it's picked up by Cassiano. Great hustle by Morgan. Cassiano in the front court, gets it to Johnson. Johnson in the corner to Cassiano, puts up a 3. Short rebound, Intermendi. Intermendi to Johnson. Johnson in the paint to Cassiano, and that won't go, and it's stuck between the rim and the, and the bucket.
Panthers ball.
Oh, my gosh.
Panthers ball.
Can you believe that?
Wow. That's not what they needed right there. Because right now, well, let's look at it. They got 3 fouls to give, but you Bearcats before Central goes to the line. So they can be real tough right here. Real tough.
Get it into Zulata against the press, back to Markey. Markey needs some help, gets it to Batts, and it was a we have a kick. Officials are talking about. It's going to be Panther ball. 1:21 left. Central leads by 6. Official walking to the scorer's table to explain whatever happened there. I was blocked from the play. I don't know, did he call a kick? I'm not sure.
I don't know if they're going on possession or what. They might be talking about possession here.
Well, the ball was in play.
Right, but wasn't that a jump ball?
When it's stuck between the rim
right.
and
they may.
I guess it is.
Yeah. See, official bookers may. I don't know if they're saying they had the wrong possession or what. Nope.
I think it was right.
I'm not sure what they did then.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they stopped it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's Panther basketball. They get it to Batts in the back court. And he works it up against Intermendi into the front court. Still on the dribble out front now. Gets a screen, picks it up, goes back to Markey. Markey in the corner to Wagner. Clock at 1:07. Wagner in the lane, takes it to the hoop, crashes in. They call an offensive foul as he crashed into Chris Johnson, and that will turn it over to the Bearcats.
And that's exactly what I talk about. That's not what the Panthers needed right there.
Nope.
Even though he had the opportunity to get within 8 feet of the basket, why take it? You're up 6.
I agree. Just hold the basketball.
Right.
And they've got to foul you 4 times before you go to the line. Here's Shiflett, drives, crashes into people, no call. Johnson's follow won't go. Long rebound to Batts. Now we'll see if they can try and hold it. Batts in the front court, in the lane, puts it up from 8 feet and hits it.
Well, he had to hit it. If you were going to shoot it, you had to hit it.
Yep. It's an 8-point lead now, 49 seconds left. Shiflett into the front court. Trey into the paint, guarded well by Markey, gives it up to Johnson, drives baseline. He's cut off by a double team, feeds it to Morgan, who lost it. Ball's out of bounds. He's going to stay with the Bearcats off of Wagner.
Wow.
Edmonds to check in for Central. Northeastern has defeated Gettysburg 65-55. Cade Burdett will have the report tomorrow morning for us. And West York can hang on against Suburban, which they led by 3 at half. The Bulldogs will be in the league playoffs. By 10, 25 seconds left. They would complete the sweep of York High if they win it, and that Wagner hits it. It's 11 points now, and yeah, this one pretty much in the bag.
Yeah.
Morgan into the front court now. Top of the key, he'll pop a 3, and off the back of the rim, no. Rebound Wagner, and now Central will just run it out. And they get it to Edmonds in the front court. 12 seconds left. And so Central will go to 16-2 and 11-0 in the league with an impressive win in the Bearcat Den. They trailed 12-0 to start it, but they win it 61-50.
Wow.
Congratulations to the Central York Panthers as they are having the momentum heading to the league playoffs. We are going to take a break and come back with a Weckers Carpet postgame show after this. You're listening to the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 and GameTimePA.com. All right, we are having a computer issue here, so we will keep it here for the moment as our Digilinks is not cooperating. There it is, so we'll see if this will take the commercial break now, and it does.
Penn doesn't take Sunday off, neither do we. We're open weekdays 8 to 8 and weekends 9 to 6. Just walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics, 2319 South George Street in York, across from the Apple Hill Health Campus. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
If you're buying new flooring, besides clicking around the internet, you need to see Wecker's Flooring Center. You'll be excited by Wecker's new design center for luxury vinyl tile. Wecker's expanded hardwood and laminate departments will impress you. And Wecker's variety of carpeting and warehouse truckload buys on remnants and rolls is
Call our York offices, 1910 Kenneth Road at 767-6694 to make your appointment, or our new location, 1399 South Queen Street at 885-5468. Or in Dillsburg, call 502-1186. We've got your smile at Hunters Hill Orthodontics.
Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK. First in York, first in sports.
And Darren.
They give it up to each other. You got Zulata coming off the bench. They find him underneath. So it's just like another starter walking on the floor. I mean, they just do many things very well, and they all do it well.
Yeah, they do, and they did it tonight. As Kevin Sheeler has told us, they play very, very well together as a team. So Central wins at 61-50. This is the Weckers Carpet postgame show. We're going to take a quick break, come back with your York Dental Sleep postgame stats after this.
What do John Yachty, Jacob Yachty, Austin Tillotson, and Kelly Ryan and Morgan Klunk have in common? Besides being basketball players, 2,000-point scorers, all-state athletes, or state champions, they all trained with John Kirchner at Unique Physique. John guarantees that he will increase your vertical jump, increase your strength, quickness, and get you ready for the upcoming season. Coaches, get your team ready with plyometrics, and John will even come to your gym to get your team ready. Players and coaches, call John Kirchner at Unique Physique at 755-2639 for details.
Honey, did you call Window World yet?
Nope.
Well, it's starting to snow.
It's not too late. Don't wait another day. Call Window World and have your windows installed before winter. Plus, for a limited time, when you buy 2 6000 series windows, you get one free. Window World, simply the best for less. Call today, 866-779-0041.
Or online at windowworldpa.com. PA contractor number 2358.
Since 1964, York Area Sports Night has been an honored tradition giving local sports fans, young and old, the chance to meet their sports heroes. To shake a hand, get an autograph, snap a photo, join us on Thursday, February 11th for the 52nd Annual York Area Sports Night held at Heritage Hills Golf Resort and Conference Center. Sponsored by M&T Bank, S&H Express, Shipley Energy, Apple Automotive Group, Gladfelder Insurance, EK McConkey Insurance, RBC Wealth Management, and Sports Radio 1350. Join our great local partners and a host of others with 2016 sponsorships still available. Visit YorkSportsNight.com. Guests at this year's event include Jay Paterno, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Hall of Famer Tony Perez, Hall of Fame lineman Bob. Tradition since 1964.
First in York, first in sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Crowd filing out here. It was a good crowd tonight. Not quite a full house, but pretty close. And they saw the Central Panthers come back from a 12-0 deficit to start it and win 61-50 over the York High Bearcats to sweep the Bearcats for the year, go to 16-2 overall and 11-0 in the league. Time now for our post-game stats from York Dental Sleep. We'll start with the York High Bearcats.
All right, Chris Johnson, 7 field goals, 5 of 6 from the line. He led all Bearcat scorers with 19. Montrell Morgan, 5 field goals, 4 of 7, 16 points. Trey Shiflett got his 1,000th tonight. He had 5 field goals, 1 of 2 from the line. He had 13. That was the bulk of the scoring. We had one other guy, Elliott Wilson, had 1 field goal for 2 points. So 3 guys with 48 points. They had 18 field goals, 4 of which were 3, 10 of 15 from the line for only 50 points.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, just 19 in the second half. 10 rebounds for Chris Johnson tonight, 3 assists and 3 steals for Montrell Morgan for the victorious Central York Panthers.
And this is pretty impressive. You got 4 guys in double figures. Jared Wagner, 4 field goals, 7 of 7 from the line. He had 17 points. Nate Markey, 1 field goal tonight. He had 2. Evan Zulata off the bench, 5 field goals, 3 of 4 from the line for 13, and that's with foul trouble. All his points came in the second and third quarter. Ontario Edmonds, 4 field goals, 10 points. Courtney Batts off the bench, 5 field goals, 1 of 2 from the line, 11 points. Nico Sobostanovich, he had 3 field goals for 6. And Landon Ray, 1 field goal in the third quarter for 2. They had 23 field goals, 4 of which were 3, 11 of 13 from the line for 61.
All right, and we talked a lot about free throw shooting, Andy, and 11 of 13 from the line. That's
Not
good.
bad. I'll tell you, that'll win you a lot of games right there.
It absolutely will. For the Panthers, Jared Wagner, 7 rebounds, Evan Zulata and Tommy O'Neill, 5 each. Nate Markey and Jared Wagner each with 6 assists, and Jared Wagner with 4 steals. So the Panthers win it 61-50. Take a break, come back with our Heritage Hills Player of the Game.
You can be. Do you want to be at your physical peak? Heritage Hills Athletic Club can get you there. You will train with certified professionals that set up programs customized to help you meet your goals. From speed and agility to strength and conditioning, our goal is your success. You have the opportunity to train in our 60,000 square foot facility that features a large turf field, 2 full-size basketball courts, and the latest technology in strength and conditioning.
We could go to clubs closer to our home, but clubs closer to our home don't seem to offer the quality, the diversity that we get at Heritage Hills, and the attention.
Call today and ask about a 3-week free trial membership to the studio, our private personal training facility. Call 757-4833 or visit us online at heritagehillsathletic.com or everyonecanplayhh.com.
My name is Lou Laviton. I own a company called Sparkle Wash. We're a professional mobile pressure washing company, and I've been a customer of York Traditions for 5 years. Prior to that, online banking has just been a wonderful tool for us because the convenience is there. But I visit all the branches. It's like Cheers. They all know your name. I think it's fascinating. I come in and I like the yellow Tootsie Rolls, or I like the Sweethearts, and they know to staple my receipt to the lower left-hand corner. And I don't understand how they do that, but this is what York Traditions does. They do it very well. It's kind of a cool place to be.
Transition to traditions today. York Traditions Bank. Member FDIC. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Join me, Steve Zabin, mornings at 6 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
And we're back at York High one final time. Ron Ruman and Andy Bria here. Central winning it tonight 61-50 to go to 16-2 and 11-0. Let's get our York Traditions Bank post-game scoreboard show in here. Andy, you had a York Catholic girls score there for us?
51-41 with 5:45 left in the game, and Raiders fouled out. That could hurt them coming down the stretch.
And that's York Catholic leading DeLone in the battle for Division 3. York Suburban girls defeat West York 38-33, so Suburban playing very, very well. West York will get into the playoffs, but they've been struggling a bit against the better teams. And New Oxford continues to win. They beat Dallastown tonight on the girls' side 55-31. That's about what we have for the girls. On the boys' side, Spring Grove continues to win. They defeat Red Lions 60-51, so they now go to 17-2, I believe, on the season, and 10-2 in league play. They'll be the 2 seed out of Division 1. Tony Nalo reports that Dallastown gets over 500 at 10-9 as they defeat New Oxford at home 59-54, so the Wildcats still alive for a district playoff berth. Eliza Kravitz reports that Dover comes back from a 6-point halftime deficit to defeat Susquehannock in Dover 58-45, so the Eagles still alive. They were the 20th seed in District 3 AAA. They take 20 into the playoffs coming into tonight's action. Northeastern goes to I believe 17-1 now and 13-0 in the league as they defeat Gettysburg 65-55. West York is leading Suburban 62-47 with 3:55 left. If the Bulldogs win that, I believe they clinch a spot, although I'm not 100% sure now as I look at that. They and Gettysburg potentially could still end up tied, so we will see, but it certainly gives the Bulldogs the inside track for that final playoff spot in the league. And York Catholic and Hanover, we have a final now. York Catholic defeats Hanover 65-51, so the Fighting Irish go to 13-4 and 12-0, and they clinch Division 3. So
there you go.
Good season for them. And that's our scoreboard brought to you by York Traditions Bank. Time now for our Heritage Hills Player of the Game.
All right, we're going with a pair of them tonight. Jared Wagner, the York College-bound guard. 4 field goals, 2 of those were team points. He was 3 of 4 from the line.
And in addition to that, Wagner, typical game for him, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. So that's all he did. And Zalata also with 5 rebounds, and I think 3 of them were offensive.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, he was a difference maker in this game when he came off. Gave him an inside presence that they needed.
He did. So Jared Wagner and Evan Zulata are Heritage Hills players of the game.